introduction to the 2023 season. For those who don't know, I'm in my second year as the head coach here and could not be more honored to be a part of this historic program. Continue to look at the people who were here in this role prior, and there's large shoes to fill. So I'm going to do my best to try and live up to it. Today we're going to be inducting 3 Northmont alumni who had outstanding careers both on and off the field, and we're going to do our due diligence in making sure that they are recognized not only today, but for the future of the program. With that being said, prior to doing that, we are going to introduce our 2023 rosters. So with that being said, I want to invite head coach of our JVB team, Matt Becker, to come up and talk a little bit about his team and how he's gotten it running.
So like you said, I'm the JVB coach this year. I'm going to read off the roster real quick. If you guys hear your name, just stand up, give a nice little wave. We have Dalton Walden, Keeson Webb, Joey Mendez, Randy Thomas, Dawson Isaacs, Gage Hope, John Hansberger, Jack Seal, Chase Maduloff, Andrew Wagner, Connor Slents, Caleb Goff, Zach Griffin, Garrett Hope, Matt Hutt, and Luke Manning. So this is my second year coaching this team. Obviously it's a new group of guys, which is always fun. Our team, obviously, is the JVB team, so we are the most developmental, focused team. Getting wins and everything, everybody wants to do that, but our goal for this team is to just, take these guys from A to B and just get them better every day, which I think during the off season we did a great job of that. A lot of these guys are showing up and lifting, and individuals saw them get stronger, saw them get better every day, but just looking forward to starting the season and seeing what these guys can do and seeing how they progress the next year. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, Matt. I now want to introduce our JVA head coach, Jackson Hobbs.
How's it going, everybody? All right, Coach Rexon said it. I am the JVA coach. We're going to bring all my guys up here. I'd like to say the morning announcements that you and then you prepared me for this moment. So we'll go ahead. My roster consists of, you guys can just line them up here, Cooper Likens, Austin Welch, Aiden Pendleton, you guys can clap for me, I'll get up here. Aiden Pendleton, Ricky Braden, Caden Nickel, Brady Whitaker, Jaden Green, Nathan Farrell, Ryan Up, Drake Sauber, Landon Savory, Brady Cannon, Donovan Post, Eli Seal, and Dylan Chan. So this is my second year coaching the JV team. This is my third year in the program. Coach Kincaid's out here tonight. It was awesome to see him. He welcomed me with warm arms 3 years ago. Helped out with the varsity team. Was a volunteer assistant then. Coach Rexon took over and then asked me to be the JV coach. We had a pretty successful year last year. Looking to do the same things this year. We've got a great group of guys. Starting from the off season, starting in the fall, and having these guys show up, putting in the time. Like I said, I'm super excited. Anything else? We open up in Florida next week. Super excited about that. I know Coach Pepper was up here talking about the JVB team. JVA obviously our goal is, I tell these guys three things. We're going to learn a lot, okay? We're going to have fun. The most important thing is we have fun. We're also going to win some games. Okay? We're going to be really competitive. I'm super excited about that. We're going to play a really tough schedule with GWAC. Sorry, we're going straight off the dome here. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Like I said, yeah. Go ahead, give these guys a round of applause.
Before we bring up the varsity team, I do want to touch a little bit on my appreciation and importance for our coaches. As somebody who didn't come through this program, not even grew up in this state, I moved here a few years back, and so to have coaches in this program that came through it, that understand the importance, that understand the history, the continuous years of success, have been a huge asset to me. And frankly, I wouldn't be able to do what we're doing now without their help and assistance. So if we can just give the coaches, guys, all you guys stand up one more time. So one of the things that we were able to change this year is the OHSAA changed the limitations as far as our off-season workouts. And so we were basically able to get guys in larger groups able to go pretty much from September on, and decided to do a little bit of a restructuring as to how we did it. And essentially, each one of our coaches took over ownership of essentially a position group, more or less. So Jackson and Matt took over the pitchers. Brian and Anthony took over hitting. Braden Fott, who's not here with us today, took over outfield. I focused on infield in our lifting program. And it's allowed us to continue to develop them in ways that I think last year we lacked. And so I think by having coaches that are really focused on specializing in specific areas, we're able to really provide them with the skills and guidance that they need. By doing it that way too, we're also able to get the entire program together. I'm really big on the uniformity of the program as a whole. So we have guys, 9th through 12th grade who are able to train, who are able to lift, who are able to learn from each other. The upperclassmen are able to be mentors to the younger. And frankly, let's be honest, coaches' words sometimes go in one ear and out the other. So to have some of the younger guys hearing from the guys that have been in the program for a few years and have been successful has been really great. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our varsity roster for this year. So if you guys want to get up here by the stairs, come on up. So if you guys want to wait a little bit. 2023 varsity roster, Drew Carter, Tucker Saligo, Brady Lupton, Charlie Williams, AJ Conti, Nate Teller, Brandon Hoops, Andrew Shingler, Christian Pendleton, Nate Shellman. That's the quietest you'll see him all year with me. Shamir Ross, Dylan Allen, Mason Wolf, Chris Gross, Maddox Simmons, Jacob Beck, and Connor Price. One of the things that I'm excited about with this group is that we have a large senior class. And with that being said, the guys that were here last year and honestly accepted the role that I came in as somebody completely new in stride. So I will give them all the credit in the world for that. They trusted not only myself but the rest of our coaches. And we got guys that don't want to compete. I think the one thing that I've been most impressed with is I don't have to ask these guys to put work in. With our off-season workouts, because we're limited to groups of 6 in a position group, I send out a Google sheet, and I don't know how some of these guys sign up as quick as they do. Before the emails go out and the Facebook posts go up, I've already got half those slots filled somehow. So to have guys that not only love the game, but they want to put the work in and are willing to do what it takes to be successful. As a coach, I can't ask for much more than that. On the other side of it, they're students first before they're athletes. And, one of the things that I really don't have to worry about with this group is whether or not they're taking care of their business in the classroom. When we get the emails from McCarr, the athletic director, it's always good to see you have nobody on our list, and that's something that's a whole different kind of problem when they go on the field. So that's something that I'm lucky to not have to deal with, really. As Coach Hobbs said, we're going to be starting off in Florida. After a few-year hiatus and a lot of people yelling at me that we haven't gone the last few years, we're going to head to Vero Beach, to Dodger Town, which is the old Dodger Spring Training Complex. We'll play 5 games out there, and really just kind of test ourselves. We've got 2 games against some prep schools from New York, one from outside of Philadelphia, one from Evanston, Illinois, and then we're going to go all the way down to Florida to play Valley View. So, but I'm excited. I mean, it's going to give us a week of baseball. When we're down there, it's going to be 2 hours on the field, 90 minutes in the cages, weight room, team meetings, and a great way for the team to bond as we head into, what seems like a long but a really quick, short season. So I'm extremely excited about this year. I can't say I've ever been excited about a group of guys as I am about these ones. So I'm excited to hit the ground running, fellas. So we can give it one more time for the varsity. On to the next part. Tonight we're going to be inducting 3 people into the Northmont Baseball Hall of Fame who obviously have played a massive part in getting this program to where it's at, playing with the history and the success of this program. And I'm very excited, to have legendary Coach Chuck Harlow here to introduce not one but all 3 of them. I think shows you how important that man has played in not only these 3 but the lives of many guys that came through this program. To speak on Chuck's behalf, again, he has welcomed me with open arms. Has been nothing but, mentorable to me. To just call me and see how things are going. And, again, for not coming through this program, not being around this area, to have someone like him to do that I've been very gracious and very lucky. So Chuck, if I can ask you to come up here and introduce Ian Krieger.
Good evening. Little feedback. Good evening. There you go. It's baseball season. Let's get a little fired up here. Before I introduce Ian, I need to say something about the coaches that are here tonight. These guys had as much to do with their success as I did, maybe more. There, Coach Jim Smith, who's here. No way, Smitty. Coach Fred Thomas. Coach Ross McCabe. Coach Mike Manning. Coach Mark McCabe did not make it. And our longtime summer coach, back when we played summer baseball together, Harold Rosendahl is here. I got to tell you something. It feels so good to be home. This is my home.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is it. I can't tell you what Northmont means to me, man. It's everything. It's everything. I did go to a couple other places to coach, but I spent 34 years here, and I'm pretty proud of that. I hear I have 90 seconds to introduce these guys. Sorry. If you want to stick around afterwards, I'll talk to you about me more afterwards because I could go on and on. But I just want to say this, is that to you guys that are playing now, number one, you guys get a haircut, but number two, I really wish you guys the best. I really do. And it doesn't just happen. You got to work at it. You got to work at it. And you got to be tough. And what that really means is you can focus on what needs to be focused on. And no matter what. I want to wish Coach Rexon the best, the coaching staff. I'm glad to see that a couple of our guys are on the coaching staff. And that really excites me. So let me talk about Ian here. Ian played third base and outfield and pitcher for us from 2007 to 2009. Before Ian ever put on a Northmont uniform, his brother Nathan played for us, and his future brother-in-law Brian Floyd played for us. So when Ian got to us, he knew what the expectations were, and he embraced the expectations and the standards we had. Ian was a kind of kid that I remember him as a happy-go-lucky kid, had a smile on his face a lot, and had a laugh. It was almost a giggle. And he was just a fun kid, except on the days he pitched. And on the days he pitched, he was quiet, serious, and focused, and he knew what he was going to do on the bump that day. I think you can read some of the stuff out there, but I just want to tell you this. In 3 years, Ian won 20 games. He won 20 baseball games in 3 years. He had a combined ERA of 2.95. He struck out 103 guys. And he was the real deal. Ian's junior year, he was named All-GWAC, first team, All-Area, second team. Senior year, he was All-GWAC, first team, All-Area, and he was the GWAC Player of the Year. He was also first team Ohio. And those are lofty things, I'm telling you. After high school, we played baseball at St. Clair Community College. And I remember him talking to me. He says, "Coach, we got some dudes down here." And they were really, really good. I mean, really good. And then after 2 years at St. Clair, he went to Lincoln Memorial, University of Tennessee. Ian was not only a great player, but he was a great teammate. I don't know how many times I saw him in the gym talking to other guys on how to throw pitches. He was always had an energy to him that kept everybody loose and at the same time kept them on their toes. And I have to tell this story. When he was a sophomore, he pitched 27 innings for us. And in my opinion, every time he pitched, he was nervous. And I mean, you could tell he was nervous. But by the time he was a senior, it was like, Skip, give me the ball and get out of my way. I'm ready to go. And I have to tell you this, I don't remember going to the mound a whole lot when he was pitching. But every time I went to the mound, it was kind of funny because he was never happy to see me. And I don't remember taking him out a whole lot senior year, but I always just said to him at the end of our mound visit, I said, "You good?" And he always said one of two things. He would either like shake his head yes, or he'd say, "Yes, sir." And when those things happened, I knew the game was over because he was going to drive us home. I remember Coach Mangy saying after Ian graduated, he said, "Man, Ian's senior year, when you called a pitch, he threw that pitch for a strike every time it seemed like. And he did throw a few balls, but he threw a lot of strikes." I told Coach Mangy, I said, "Man, when you call pitches for your career, it's like playing a video game because they work." And Ian was the kind of guy that got guys out. He could strike you out. He could throw a curveball to strike you out. He could throw a high feed to strike you out. He was a nasty dude on the mound. But the thing I remember more than anything is how many times he got the first pitch outs. I mean, guys would be shaking their head, and they're like, "I don't want to swing at that," but I did. You know, and he'd get people out. And I was really lucky to be able to coach a pitcher of Ian's caliber. And a young man that believed in his coaches and in his teammates. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Ian Krieger into the Northmont Baseball Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I just want to say thank you to Coach Harlow for that introduction. There is absolutely no other person that I would rather have introduce me here tonight. I respect him to the fullest. My family does, all of us. One of the best coaches that I've ever played for, so I thank you for that. First off, I just would like to say it's a great honor to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The tradition of Northmont baseball and every single player that has contributed to the program has only made the honor even bigger. The quality of player that I have seen come through this program from the time I was 5 years old has been, bar none, some of the best baseball in high school that I've seen from different areas. Dayton has only improved along with Cincinnati. So the program has been great, so it makes the honor even bigger. I must say that playing Northmont baseball was not by chance. As Coach Harlow mentioned before, I had a couple of brothers that played as well. I spent many days watching games of my brothers and wanted nothing more to be able to put a uniform on and walk down to the yard from the parking lot and play baseball down there. I would say my first paying job was snagging foul balls for airheads, cowtails, whatever I could get from concessions. So grew up on the baseball field at the yard. Like I said, my brothers and other family would practice with me nonstop early in life. I had 2 pitching coaches by the time I was 6 years old, and it was in the backyard telling me, you know, you will hit this spot. I got many imagination home runs from MLB stars hit off me in my backyard, countless of them. So I credit them for that early on in life. I mean, it was ingrained in my head to be a pitcher. I like to hit, but when you played on the teams that I did here at Northmont, you had plenty of other really, really good hitters, and I did not have to hit. I like to let them go give me some runs. So anyways, with that, I do want to say thank you to my entire family as a whole, especially my parents. I have never wanted or needed for anything throughout my entire journey through baseball, school, even to this day. So I want to thank them for that. When it comes to baseball at Northmont, I can truly say that I have no negative feelings about my time spent in the program. It was all quality. It provided me with discipline in a time that I needed it in my life. It held me accountable, and it was exactly what the doctor ordered to prepare me for the future in baseball and in college. I'm forever thankful for it. I made some of the best friends that I could ever have, and we won a lot of baseball games. Provided a lot of opportunities for my friends and other players, so I'm thankful for that. Let's see here. The lessons I've learned in this program have permanently branded me for the better, and I carried that with me to college, and I still do to this day in my daily work life. Sayings from coaches that I've heard from the time I started playing till now, I still carry that with me. A few memories, I could stand up here and talk all day. There's so many memories that I have here, but with Blake being inducted, I thought it was funny. I opened up the program, and one of his, I'm going to steal it, Blake. I'm going first.
Go for it.
But it was our sophomore year, and we had just got down to Florida, and I don't know if it was the first or second game. I had never pitched in a varsity game, only a scrimmage, before we showed up to Florida. And I come into the game, it's the last inning, we're up by 2 runs, and the bases are loaded. My first ever varsity pitch was straight into the back of the first batter that I faced. Forced in a run home, and it was 7-6, and I believe Coach Harlow comes out to the mound for a mound visit, whatever it was, And Blake just looks at him, he goes, you know what, it's fine, we're about to turn a triple play right here. And I'm like, you know, I'm a pitcher, I'm kind of smart aleck at times on the mound. I'm like, yeah, you know, triple play, okay. So I swear I get on the mound next pitch, and they tried to pull a page out of Coach Harlow's book and do a double squeeze, and the batter pops it up straight to me, right to me. The guys are already halfway down the line from second to third and third to home, and we turned a triple play and we won the game. And that was the first game that I ever pitched on varsity, and it just goes to show the attentiveness of Blake. A second memory that I have, I'm glad he didn't put this one down. We were playing Centerville at Centerville. I'm pitching, it's the last inning again, and I give up a game-tying 2-run home run to the 9-hole, and this kid was 130 pounds soaking wet, and somehow flicked one out down the line on me. And Blake comes up to me, the fans are going crazy at Centerville, they're going nuts, can't hear anything, and he walks up and he says, you're going to get on the mound, you're going to step off and throw the ball to me at first base. He's like, the kid missed first base. And you know, if you're a pitcher, 99 times out of 100 you go to appeal a runner, they're usually safe. And lo and behold, throw it over to him, they call him out, get the next guy to ground out, and we win the game. And that was a year of 11 wins, and that one is specifically because of Blake, so I have to thank him for that. My final memory, which will lead to a future point here, is pitching in fifth, third field against Vandalia Butler. And yeah, we're winning all game, and Coach Harlow and I were having some disagreements on pitch calling for maybe a half inning or an inning, and I disrespected the man, and the man came out and let me know in front of 3,000 people how bad I did disrespect him there. So those are just some funny things, but when you end up winning it all, you know, it's just the competitiveness in both of us, and I'm just happy everybody was pulling the rope in the same direction. So, but finally, it's not often that I have so many people in the room, and some who are not, that have contributed to where I'm at today through high school baseball, college baseball, and current work career. So I just want to do the same thing and go around and thank a few people. Coach Kincaid, both young and old, freshman coach and JV coach, has spent a little time there. Coach Thomas as well, talking about knuckleballs and doing all the old school pitching. Coach Mergler and Smitty as well. Smitty was the guy when I was warming up for games. I mean, if Smitty wasn't standing behind me telling me where to throw my pitches, it just didn't feel right. So it was before every game. So pushing me in the bullpen before the game. My brother-in-law Brian Coy and Gerald Rosendahl providing me 2 of the most fun years of summer baseball that I ever played in the Acme years, and also J.T. Thompson, who I don't know, he's out west now, I believe, but played a year of summer Acme under him, and we were lucky enough to win a state championship in Coldwater. So, wanted to shout him out. Coach Harlow, I mean, hindsight 2020. I look back at the relationship, and there were some days where I was like, man, this guy, he's crazy, man. He's crazy. Why is he making us this? We're getting reamed for this. We're getting reamed for that. But I do not look back at this. This is some of the most beneficial things. I'm lucky enough that every level that I have ever played on, whether it be high school, junior college under Steve Dinneman, and Lincoln Memorial under Jeff Sixeye, I was the type of kid that needed a coach to put his foot in my rear when I needed it. And I am thankful, but respectfully and in a good way as a coach, I am thankful that I got that at every level that I have ever played. So thank you for that. The program was phenomenal. Greg Beamer as well. There was a time when I was in between schools and out of baseball for months, out of shape. I had lost my velo, and the man provided me with an opportunity to play summer baseball one more year, and he provided me with an opportunity to play under Sinclair's pitching coach, which led to that opportunity. So from the bottom of my heart, everybody, it means the most, and especially to my family and parents. I will end with a message to the current players. I'm not going to say these are the best years of your life, but these are some of the best and funnest years of your life. And whatever your role in the program is, commit to it and do whatever you can to be the best at that role. Allow yourself to be coached and molded as the people that I've mentioned before me have done for myself. Control what you can control, and at the end of the day, you will be successful regardless. Thank you again for the induction. It means the world to me. Plenty of other guys that I've played with deserve the same recognition. As a pitcher, I could not have done this by myself. I was not a power guy. I had defense and run support every year that I played here. It made it very easy. Thank you again for the induction. I'm honored, but this is also a tribute to every player who played in the program the years that Blake and I were here at Northmont. So thank you very much.
This time I'd like to welcome back up Coach Harlow and introduce Blake Beaver.
You guys are too young, but there used to be this show called Behind Man TV. And they gave us to do all kind of violin parts. And I got 2 of those bionic knees. And in January, I got one of those bionic hips. And I'm not very fast. I got ripped off. Okay. I hate to have to talk about it, but I got to tell you this. When Blake said, all we need is a triple play, I remember coming back into the dugout, laughing. And one of the coaches said, what's so funny? I said, those stupid sophomores think we need a triple play. And we got a triple play, and I remember being looking at the dugout saying, I told you! And I was just like, oh man, this could be good. All right, Blake Beaver. He's the most incredible baseball man I've ever met. It's his life. It's his life, and he has an extensive background in baseball. I knew Beam was going to be a coach. You could just tell. You just knew this kid was going to be a baseball coach. I know his first dream was to make it to the major leagues, but when that stopped, I know he immediately set up to be a coach. And Beam was an outstanding player for us and just off the charts leader for us. I mean, he could lead not by his mouth, which he did a lot, but by his actions. His actions on the field, his actions in the classroom, and his actions in life. Every kid who my high school knew who Blake Beaver was, and I think everyone of them liked him. And that's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. You know, you can read his stats. I just want to tell you real quick, he's a career 400 hitter. I know we used a little bit different bats back then than what you guys are using now, but he still got it squared up and busted. He was on base, you know, he had a 573 on base average. I used to tell the guys, stay on your feet and don't move your feet in the batting box. Coach, what was inside? Don't move your feet. Roll with it, get hit. Beam got hit all the time. Especially if it was a curveball. I mean, he wasn't about to move. I mean, he got hit. I highly recommend all you guys wear real shields and get hit. It's the number one factor in having a big inning, 3 or 4 rounds. I'm telling you, getting hit is a good thing. So is walking. You know, Ian made reference to, you know, our core beliefs, you know, what we believed in. And I used to always tell the kids, we got to be tough. physically and mentally. We got to outwork the other team. We got to have unity. It's got to be, me before me, and grit. You can ask anybody that played for us if you didn't have grit, you weren't going to last too long in this program. And I wanted the kids to be grateful for the opportunity. I wanted them to be grateful to have their parents sitting in the stands. I wanted them to be grateful to play for a great school. And they were. So I mentioned being, some of these honors. He was honorable mention on GMBC, GWOCM. He was second team his junior year, first team all area. Senior year, his first team all GWOC Central, first team all GWOC, first team all area. And I said, Bean was a high energy guy. He used to text all the players and all the coaches. Every day that we had a game, he would send us some kind of text, usually some kind of inspiration. He was vocal, and he backed up what he said. Did I say he was vocal? I got to tell you something. Every time a guy got on first base, Bean talked to that kid like he was his best friend. And when someone wasn't on first base, he talked to the opposing coach like he was their best friend. He talked to the umpires. When that kid missed first base, Bean looked back at the umpire and went, and the umpire shook his head, I know, Blake. He loved to talk baseball, and it didn't matter who it was to. And he had chatter, man. I mean, it wasn't like little league chatter. He was talking about everything baseball-wise that he could talk about. The only time Blake didn't talk was when he was at bat. And when he was at bat, he didn't talk until the pitch crossed the plate. And then he would talk to the catchers about the pitch. Sometimes he said, man, that's a good pitch. And tell the umpire, that's a really good pitch, wasn't it? And he talked to everybody. Told guys on the bench what to expect. What the guys were going to throw. He talked to our catchers, about our pitchers. On our Florida trips, Bean was the first one awake every day, along with Coach Smith. And they would go out to the beach, and they'd take a walk on the beach, and Smitty was always looking for sand dollars and starfish and all kind of stuff. And they found, they used to find sand dollars all the time. I think they found a starfish one day. Man, you'd have thought we won the World Series or something. On our Florida trips, I never worried about anybody because I knew Bean had control of our team. After high school, Blake went to Ball State, where he had an outstanding career on the diamond as an outfielder. This is the most amazing thing about his trip to Ball State, though. 3 years in a row, Blake was named captain of the team. They don't name sophomores captain of the team. At Ball State, they named Blake Beaver captain as a sophomore, and a junior, and a senior. After graduating from college, by the way, which I think he did like in 3 years, I think when he went to college, I think he was almost a sophomore. He took all those AP classes and all that stuff. And I think he was almost a sophomore. I think he graduated in 3 years. After college, he played for his fourth year, worked on his master's degree. He went to Penn State as a volunteer coach. Then he went to Eastern Illinois for his first paid job. And then he went back to Ball State and became the recruiting coordinator and the assistant coach. And this year he was named the head coach of the Butler Bulldogs. Blake's not very old. He's a pretty young head coach. I have to say one more thing about Bean. It's not so much baseball related, but Beamer related. Blake is a really good soccer player. I don't know how you judge that because I wouldn't know good from bad one, but he was a really good soccer player. And first semester, Blake would, when the bell rang, he'd reach his book bag and take out a baseball. And he'd walk through the hallways with a baseball. And then second semester, he put the ball away, took out his glove, walked through the hallway with his glove. You'd see somebody wave at him with his glove. So one day I said, hey, Big, what's the deal, man? Why are you doing that baseball and glove thing? He said, Coach, every time I pass one of my teammates, I want them to think about baseball. And when they see me, I know they think about baseball. And to me, that was way ahead of his time. It's said that good baseball teams are led by their coaches. And that's probably true. But great baseball teams are led by the players. And I know that's a fact that Blake Beaver taught me that. I had the great fortune to become Blake Beaver's high school baseball coach. And that being said, I want to tell you, it's an honor and privilege to introduce Blake into the Northmont Baseball Hall of Fame. Blake Beaver.
Coach wasn't lying. I can talk. Can you guys hear me in the back? All right. I just want to be able to look at these guys a little bit. Man, thank you. Thank you to Coach Harlow. Thank you to the committee. Thank you to the players that came before us. Man, they've had some really good teams in Northmont, fellas. This place means a lot. Krieger, I can't tell you enough, man. Man, he was fun to play behind. Pitchers, throw strikes. It makes it a lot easier to play defense. I will never forget that. They say baseball is a game of three, right? 3 strikes, 3 outs, 3 up, 3 down, 3 bases, 3 outfielders, you go on. I got 3 goals tonight, boys. 3 goals. I'm going to try and keep you awake. I can't promise it, but I'm going to try and keep you awake. I'm going to try and teach you something that you didn't know about yourself, about your team, or about the program. And I hope I inspire you to figure out what Northmont baseball is about, and to help you guys reach it this year. Because what I can tell you, greatness is the standard here. Tommy Stoffel, I mean, it's the best hitter that's ever come out of Northmont. The standard is to be like that. Ian Krieger, the work he put in every day. Understand, that's the expectation. And you have to meet it every single day here. And that's the fun part. The guys that came before us, they laid that foundation. Coach Harlow. Oh, give Coach Harlow a round of applause for him. Coach Rex is awesome. I can assure you he's awesome. He might be like Coach Harlow one day. You can only hope he's half as good. Because Coach Harlow is as good as they come, fellas. In this program, it's largely thanks to Coach Harlow. I'll stay with 3. I'll try and give you 3 thoughts, 3 stories. The first story, probably the first time I knew Coach Harlow had impacted my life. It's my freshman year. Myself and Jordan Grillio, another guy who used to be in the Hall of Fame, just shout that out. Jordan Grillio's as good as they come. We were called up freshman year to practice the varsity for tournament time. Unbelievable honor. I played freshman for Coach Kincaid and got to practice with the varsity. After practice, we're running polls, just like most practices end. You have conditioning. Being the freshman, you want to make a statement. You want to make a good first impression. So I take off. We're doing polls. I take off. I'm wanting to win. Win everything, fellas. Win the classroom, win the community, win baseball games, win the weight room, win everything. I take off, and I'm running. And I'm probably 25, 30 yards ahead of everybody. And one of the seniors said, "Bean, don't be a hero. We'll get through it together." And I realized, okay, the rest of the group caught up and we jogged the pole. And from across the field, not 3 seconds later, "Beamer! Don't you slow down for them! If you can win everyone! Raise them up to your level!" And I've never forgotten that. And I took off. And I won. But everybody else went a little harder. And that was the first time I realized if you want to lead, go as hard as you can all the time. And if you're following, keep up with the leader. It's going to raise everybody. It's going to raise the standard. And that's important. It's important. If you're the leader, be the best at everything. Win everything. And if you're not there, catch it. Because all you're going to do is make the program better. I've never forgotten that from Coach Harlow. And it stuck with me, and it will stick with me for the rest of my life. It's important, fellas. If you can do it, do it to the best of your ability. And if you can't, catch the guy who can. It's going to make you better. It's going to make the people around you better. And Coach, thank you for that. That was one of those moments that I can remember everything about, and that was awesome. The second piece I want you guys to remember, the team, the team, the team. It's what it's all about. Krieger and I have one of the same memories playing Butler at Fifth Third Field. When you're part of a team, you never know when your moment's going to be called. You never know when it's going to be your time to shine. You never know when you're going to be needed. So you always have to prepare for it. If you're not the starter, work like it. If you're the starter, work like the all-star. If the all-star, work like the draft pick. Because you always have to be ready. You never know when your moment comes. We had a kid named Brad Don. Brad Don was a catcher for us. Really good catcher. Really light with the bat. I think there were probably days that Krieger got to hit for himself and we DH'd Brad Don. That was how light he was with the bat. And the Fifth Third Field game, I remember there were a ton of guys there. It was 2,500, 3,000 people. Northmont versus Butler. The arm going against Krieger was the guy that they said was the best pitcher in the area. Doomler was last name. I don't even remember Doomler's first name. But Zach Doomler. And we hate Butler, fellas. If you don't, learn it. Hate center really more. That's ingrained here. But we're playing Butler, and Doomler was supposed to be the best pitcher around. We knew we had it in Krieger. But all of a sudden, the game does get tied. And the game's tied late. And we have the bases loaded. And baseball, the game knows, fellas. The game knows. When you work for it, when you prepare every day, when you give everything you can, the game will reward you. Not always when you want it to. Understand that. You won't always get rewarded when you want it to. Baseball's cruel. You will fail. You will fail often. But you will be rewarded for your perseverance. I promise you that. Brad Don comes up with guys on base, and I don't know if Coach Harler thought about pinch hitting him. I thought about pinch hitting. I'm like looking at the lineup like, Coach, just sub me in. I'll hit right hand. I'll be a different guy. Like, I love Brad Don, but I knew that we probably wanted somebody else at the plate. And Coach Harlow, and I don't remember again if we had anybody to pinch hit, Brad Don got the hit. And what I can tell you about Brad Don is he worked every day. Every day. And he worked on his defense, but he worked at the plate, and he worked on his swing. Because he knew his moment would come. And it came. We're playing Butler, and Brad Don gets the go-ahead hit in the 6th or 7th inning against the guy that everybody thought was the best pitcher in the area, in Doomler. And we won that game because the strength of the team, and Brad Don was ready for that moment. A guy that I don't know what he hit, I don't know the stats of any of our guys, but I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget. He was ready when we needed him the most. And that was a testament to the preparation he had gone through, the work he had put in, and the belief Coach Harlow had in everybody. Believe in yourself and believe in your teammates, because their time's coming too. And I think it's important that we understand that. The third thing I want you guys to remember, it's about connection. Connection and extension, right? Baseball term, you hear, get extension, right? Have good connection down the mound. It's important. It's important. But it's more important in life. Extend with your teammates, connect with your teammates. At Butler, we call it EGB, energy-giving behaviors. We thrive on it. Energy-giving behaviors. Extend to somebody, connect with somebody. Extend to somebody, connect with somebody. That's what it's about. It's what life's about. You're going to learn it. You've got to build relationships with each other, with your teammates, with your friends, with your parents. I mean, life's too short, fellas. You don't think it. Again, I remember being in your shoes. You're worried about Florida. It's going to be a great trip. It's going to be stuff that you remember. You're going to turn a triple play that nobody believes can happen except for you. And it's going to be awesome. But it's about the connection you make with your friends, with your teammates, with your coaches. Krieger hit the nail on the head. We wouldn't be here without the great coaches in here. It's unbelievable. The people that will impact your life if you let them. It's important. You have to let them. You have to let them. You have to be coachable. You have to be able to connect. And you have to understand that that will lead to baseball success. You can't do this game alone. If you worry about your stats, you worry about how you're doing, it's going to crush you. And I know. I've played the game enough. I've seen it enough. The game will crush you if you make it about yourself. It is about the team, the team, the team. And I hope you guys have a great one every single year. But never forget, extend with somebody, connect with somebody. Extend with somebody, connect with somebody. Extend yourself to somebody, connect with them. If there's a teammate you don't know very well, extend yourself to them. Get to know them, connect with them. High five each other, chest bump, fist pound. Man, it makes it fun. It makes it fun, right? Playing baseball is the most fun thing in the world. There's nothing better. It's the greatest game on earth. It is the absolute greatest game on earth, and Creeks is right. It's one of the best times of your life. If you make it, and if you let it be, you have to give it to it. You have to give the game that effort, and it'll reward you tenfold, fellas. You have no idea what this game can do. The discipline, the memories, the heartbreak, the excitement, the love, the connection. You're never going to forget it. And understand, the greatness is expected here. I look at high school baseball all across the country, and I check Northmont scores more than anybody. I am probably more of a nerd about Southwest Ohio sports in general, but especially baseball than anybody. And I will brag about Northmont any chance I get. I still talk umpires' ears off. If I hear one from Ohio, I tell them, hey, Region 4 in Ohio is the best athletes in the country. Because that's what I expect. That's what I know. And again, we wanted to win the G-Walk every year. It's changed, I know that. But we wanted to beat Butler every year. We wanted to beat Centerville every year. We didn't even worry about Troy and Sydney and Springboro. We were expected to beat those guys. Like, that was, we were winning that game because we knew we had to. You knew you had to beat those guys. You knew you had to beat Wayne. They were on the schedule, so you had to beat them. You felt sorry for them. They were on the schedule. You had to go through them. And that's what I'll never forget. Our year, we go on a streak where our junior year, we win 10 games in a row. That's hard. That's hard to do in baseball. We thought we were pretty good, too. I think Coach Harlow will tell you that. We thought we were pretty good. We weren't as good as we thought, but we thought we were pretty good. The game will humble you. We got humbled real quick. We lost back-to-back games. Shocked us. I was lost for 2 days. Lost for 2 days, but realized it's a moment. The game's about moments. The game's about moments. Life's about moments. Take advantage of them when you have them, because they're short. We lose 2 in a row, and then we go on to win 10 again, because we had a really good team. We had guys like Brian Toll who could drop the bunt down with 2 strikes. He can get on base when you needed him to. You knew you could win a game at any moment with a guy like that. You had a guy like Brad Don who worked his tail off every day for his moment. You had pitchers like Ian Krieger. Just give him the ball. Give him the ball, get out of the way. But the work was put in. The work was put in. 8 and 8s. Is that what it was, Coach? 8 and 8s. Man, we did the running for it. We did the preparation. We played catch. Play quality catch, fellas. Baseball's an advanced game of catch. If you can play advanced catch, you'll win baseball games. But man, the game will reward you. The game will reward you. Stay in it long enough, connect with your teammates, and understand this place is special. It can change your life. I know it changed mine. Again, the coaches in here, thank you. My parents, thank you. Forever grateful. I went over my time. I do apologize for that. But again, everybody, thank you so much.
Fellas, I want to just said. Baseball's an advanced game of catch.
Make sure you get it. It's true.
Again, for our final induction, we'll bring back Coach Arlo one last time with Tom Stoffel.
I was the head baseball coach at Northmont for 34 years. I got the job when I was 6, that's why I look so young. In that time, we had one freshman play varsity. We should have had 2, but we had one play varsity. And I was really, not that I'm opposed to having a freshman play varsity, but I'm telling you, there's a big difference between a 14-year-old and 18-year-old. And I had coached freshman football for a couple of years, and I coached freshman basketball for 7 years. So I knew quite a bit about freshmen. And first of all, you had to have a need to bring a freshman all the way up, in my opinion. And fortunately for us, we didn't have a whole lot of needs to bring sophomores up, let alone freshmen. And I knew going into that year that we needed a player. And 2010, I heard from a lot of people about Tommy Stoffel, and especially Coach Ross Kincaid. He had super high on Tom as an athlete, as a student, and he had talked to me a lot about him. And that winter, I snuck in the gym a lot and watched Tom practice basketball. And I went to a few games and watched him play basketball. And I really wasn't trying to check out how good an athlete he was. I started trying to check out how he handled things when they went bad and when things went good. So with that being said, I had a little bit of reservation. And the reason is because baseball can chew you up and spit you out real fast. And the one thing I didn't want to happen is I didn't want Tommy to lose his confidence. So we started the season, we went to Florida, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bat Tom 9th. And I'm going to bat the sophomore we got playing in left field, I'm going to bat him 8th. Well, when we come back from Florida, the freshman that we had playing in right field batted first, and the sophomore we had in left field batted second. They were good. They were real good. So they passed the second test, Tom especially. I think this is amazing. Tom, he played 120 varsity games in high school. That's amazing. He had 382 varsity at-bats, and he had 154 hits. He scored 128 runs. He had 104 RBIs. He was a double king. He had 37 doubles. He had 11 triples, 8 home runs. I got to mention this because Tom liked to steal bases and didn't do it a whole lot. He did have 18 stolen bases for his career. He got on base. He had a 509 on base average and a 403 career batting average. Now, that's incredible as a hitter. But Tom also could pitch. And his freshman year, I was real leery about using him. So we didn't use him his freshman year. His sophomore year, we used him a little bit. His junior year, we used him a little bit more. And his senior year, we used him every 4 days. And if it rained, we threw him at the end of those 4 days. It was his turn or not. Tom was 11-2 and struck out 160 batters in his career. As a freshman, he was first team all GMVC, all GWOC, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the old league. All GWOC Central, he was first team all area. Sophomore year, all GWOC Central, all area. Junior year, he was a GWOC player of the year. He was all area, he was also all state. His senior year, he was a GWOC player, he was all GWOC, he was all area, and again, he was all state. This team won 2 league championships when he was in high school. We won 2 sectional titles. We won a district championship. And for the first time ever, we won a regional game. Northmont had never won a regional game. And I got to tell you about that regional game. We played Mason, and they were 26-0. They had this big dude. He was 6'6". His name was Andrew McDonald. And he was the Ohio Player of the Year that year. And we pitched Tom, and they pitched Andrew. And they got on the bus with their heads down, pouting because we beat them 4-1. And the irony of that whole thing is, Tom went to Virginia Tech. Andrew McDonald went to Virginia Tech. 1-0 sophomore. That was one of the few players that I've ever had that his name got changed during the season. Like he didn't become Muhammad Ali or bring me out to the bar or anything. But Tom, his freshman and sophomore year, he was Tommy Stockholm because he was the kid that could play baseball. He was like Ken Griffey in high school baseball. But by the time he was a junior, he was Tom Stockholm. And he was the man. And everybody knew it too. I remember sitting at the Miami Valley baseball coaches fall meeting, and Centerville's coach said to me, I'm telling you right now, Stockholm's not going to get shit to hit all year. I'm telling you that right now. He's not going to get anything to hit. And there was a couple other of our coaches, and they said, we ain't pitching to him. And he didn't get a whole lot of good pitches to hit this senior year. But when he did, he hit it. He hit it. Tom knew his game better than anybody. Not to say they didn't work hard with our coaches. He worked with Coach T Coach Thomas on the tee. Worked with Coach Smith, Coach Kincaid, Ross Kincaid, Coach Means. He worked with those guys in the cage. And I can honestly say the best advice I ever gave Tom was not when he was in high school. I went up to see him play a summer game in Battle Creek, Michigan. And we went out to eat afterwards, my wife, and we talked about the game. And then I said, Tom, someday baseball's going to end. You really need to get a degree. He said, I'm working on it, Coach. You know, playing baseball and being an engineer is not real easy, but I'm working on it. And then I gave him the best advice I'd ever given. I said, Tom, you better marry Sophie, or you're a damn fool. For a long time, I thought Sophie went to Northmont. She was at so many of our events, and she was such a great softball player at Fairborn. I mean, she followed him around, and I can still remember telling him, you better marry that girl. Probably the best advice I ever gave. I'm proud to say that Tom earned a degree in engineering. He played 4 years of baseball at Virginia Tech. And he married Sophie. And they now have a handsome little guy. My distinguished honor to introduce Tom Stoffel to the Northmont Baseball Hall of Fame.
How about Coach Arlo? I've never seen a better team builder in my life. He's truly incredible. He's changed so many young men's lives. And I can't thank him enough. I'm more nervous to give this speech than playing in front of 14,000 fans at LSU. Firstly, I'd like to thank the selection committee for choosing me as a recipient in such a As a recipient of this prestigious honor, it is truly humbling to be recognized in such a meaningful way for something I'm so passionate about. I would also like to extend my congratulations to my fellow inductees. It is an honor to be in your company, and I'm proud to be sharing this special moment with you. Just a side story, when I was in high school, I had the Northmont record books up on my wall. I was always chasing people like Blake and Ian, Mike Manchin, and others. I say this to let you know that the records I have didn't happen by accident. I was very intentional and worked for it every day. So once again, I'd like to thank you coaches for everything you've done for me. I can't thank you enough for all the lessons along the way. To my parents, Mike and Penny, thank you for being a positive influence in my life. I'd like you boys all to go home tonight and thank your parents tonight. I promise you that you are underestimating all that they do for you on a daily basis. And to my 3 sisters, I'd like to thank you guys for helping me develop my competitiveness and patience. But mostly for being annoying, which naturally forced me outside to practice. To my beautiful wife, thank you for all the support along the way. And no, you could not strike me out. For the longest time, I've been trying to think about what I should talk about tonight. I couldn't decide if I should talk about my success as a player, the time we made it to the regional finals. Coach Harler fired my mom for being team manager. I ultimately decided on something I thought I might have wanted to hear back then. Something tangible that I can improve on. And the first thing is this quote. It goes, "You don't get to the big leagues by other people sucking." This means success is achieved through hard work and dedication, not through other people's failures. The second thing is happiness and confidence does not come from the recognition of the rewards. They come from doing the hard work, doing the hard things. The third one is kindness isn't being nice. Kindness is telling the truth. Telling the truth, even though it may be difficult or uncomfortable, is a more genuine expression of kindness than merely just being nice. Remember this when leading others. And the last thing is what I call choose your hard. It's hard to stay in conditioned shape. It's hard to be out of shape. It's hard hitting in a cold garage in the winter. It's also hard to have a bad season hitting. It's hard to be a winner, and it's mentally hard to be a loser. No matter what you do, life is hard. By avoiding the difficult things, you're actually making your future more difficult. I cannot express how much the sport and playing at Northmont has meant to me through my years. It has taught me leadership, teamwork, and discipline. It has also given me some of the best memories of my life, memories that will stay with me forever. Thank you, and I wish you guys the best of luck this season.
Good job, back coordinators.
I think the beauty of this type of an event, it allows our current players to connect with the players that have gotten the program here. So fellas, I would hope that you would take some time and pick the brains of players and coaches that are here for the past. I think they are extremely valuable. You know, I've been lucky for their support and their knowledge. So I would hope that you would take advantage of this opportunity to do the same. To wrap it up, again, we want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, recognizing not only the 3 recipients of the Hall of Fame, as well as our 2023 rosters. And lastly, we kick off home April 5th, and I would encourage everyone to come out and watch the play. Again, I'm extremely excited for all 3 teams and see what we can do. So, look forward to it. Thanks again, everyone.